Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and this one is the Disney Store exclusive Marvel Select Spider-Man Far From Home upgraded suit, and I am very pleased to have this one. It kind of came out of nowhere. I think Dan Who was actually the first to post it. He had seen it at his Disney Store out in the UK, and it was too early. I guess it wasn't actually supposed to be out, then it came out. I did order it online and had it shipped to me. I haven't seen it in store, but I don't really go to the mall too often. But I am very pleased to have this one, and I like that they changed the hip joints on this guy from the Spider-Man Homecoming Marvel Select figure. So this one is really going to be better in my opinion, but we'll kind of see. I'll do a comparison with this and then compare it to the Marvel Legends and the SH Figure Arts. So we have all the different Spider-Man upgraded suits. So really cool. You can see in the package, he comes with some additional hands, and he has the British flag, which was interesting because the flag wasn't really in the movie, but I know he was in London, of course, so that's kind of why they did that, I guess, but pretty cool nonetheless. We get a Spider-Man logo there. Spider-Man says Special Collector Edition action figure. Let me see, we have the Disney Store logo down there in the corner. Back of the package looking awesome. We just get a look at the figure with the accessories, you know, the flag there. The item number, it says there, and I don't know if you could see that. I have a picture on my Instagram if you want to take a look at it. And then there's the side artwork, but anyway, let's get right to it and open them up. Alright, and here is the figure out of the package, and this figure is probably the most aesthetically pleasing figure, Spider-Man upgraded suit figure from Far From Home. I really like the way it came out. I thought the articulation would be great, but I think it's going to be a little bit limited, so we're going to actually take a look at that first. I do want to go over the different hands and accessories that he comes with. So he has, out of the package, he has a pair of fists, he has the thwipping hands, he has the open holding hands here, and then he also has wall crawling hands. And I know that's been a big complaint with the MCU Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures. They don't come with wall crawling hands ever. None of them have. So at least this guy does. And then what's really cool is that flag, you can see, can stand up that high where, you know, his head really comes up to the flag, but you can actually get it comes with this additional pole piece to get that flag raised up really, really high. I don't know if I'll be able to get it in frame at all, but it does raise the flag up, you know, that height even more so. So it's pretty crazy how high up it can get. So let's get right to it. We'll get into his articulation, then we'll zoom out and go over the comparisons and things like that. Okay, so for Spider-Man's articulation, he can look down that much, which is okay. Can look up, that's it. So that's really just kind of straight out with a slight tilt up. Not a whole lot there. You can get full rotation in there, and there's a good like neck pivot going on in there that works out quite well. It's just, you know, getting him to look up really isn't going to happen. You can get the shoulders to go up that far. You can get a full rotation in there. There is an upper bicep swivel there. You get a double jointed elbow, which works out really, really well. As you can see there, the wrists swivel and they do hinge, so that works out well. There's no ab crunch. There's a diaphragm joint, and my diaphragm joint was a little tight, but you can get him to crouch down that much, so that's actually really good, a lot better than I thought it was going to be. You can get him to go back that much, which is a little bit. You can get pivot to go that much to the side. Other pivot can go a lot more, so I don't know why it's restricted. You just have to work it a little bit more, and you can get it in there. And then there's another joint down in here, so it's another kind of waist diaphragm style joint. So I'm trying to figure out which movement independent of this top portion you can get. So there's just a little bit of movement in there. So when you do both, you can get them to crunch down that much. It's ever so slight, but you can get a little bit of movement in there. There's not really any pivot. There's only a tiny bit of pivot itself going in there, but you can turn it a little bit, but you know, not a whole lot. There's no waist swivel, so you really kind of have to work both those joints to get them into kind of a turn position. He can do the full split, so that's great motion in the legs there. He can't kick forward that much, but you can kind of kick it out quite a bit and do all kinds of crazy things there. There is a upper thigh cut there. You get a double jointed knee, which works out well. There's no boot swivel or anything like that, but the foot hinges all the way down. You get a good amount going up, and then there's actually a really nice ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So he actually has some really good articulation for this guy. And I know Marvel Select doesn't always have the best, but I really like when they do the hip joints like this instead of the T-joint legs like the Homecoming one is. So this one is much, much better. Now let's get in for a closer look before we move to the comparisons. Okay, so I had mentioned how I think that this is the most aesthetically pleasing figure, because what they do here is, unlike the Legends version, you know, we actually get painted web lines, and then, you know, the SH Figure Arts does look really good, but the way all the articulation works on that figure, there's all kinds of cuts and joints and stuff and things in there that is visible, whereas this figure is really straightforward, and it has all the articulation that's really necessary. So that's why I think he is the most aesthetically pleasing. The double web lines came out really good. There's a couple of little sloppy things going on, a little smudge there, and I noticed this with the Marvel Select figures. You know, it's always done in a matte finish. There's no shine or anything to it. So to me, sometimes the paint looks a little dull, but overall it does look really good. A little bit of smudge right there with some of the black lines. Those are all minor things that I really don't mind, but overall it just looks really good. Even the Spider logo on the back came out looking really good. The texture of the suit looks really good. Like, you even get some of those flat parts where it's not really textured, those different lines like there on his back. All kinds of different lines, as I could try to get some of the glare. They came out looking really good in the figure form from the suit. So kudos to Diamond Select Toys for really sculpting this out quite nicely. I really like the way it looks. We actually get a little bit of a shinier black right there on the black over the boots. Then here, looking at the feet, you can see a little bit heavy on this left foot compared to the right, but overall looks really, really good. I like the way he came out. So now let's see him up against some other figures. One thing that's crazy is I kind of forgot about the Iron Spider figure that Marvel Select released. So this kind of follows the same articulation as that one, where the better hip joints. I don't like these T-joint ones. For one, they look really ugly, and then when you move the legs, that looks just absolutely horrible when you do that. And at this point, come on, you know, no action figure company should be doing their legs like that. And I know that DC Multiverse kind of stopped, but you know, they're already kind of done, right? Mattel isn't making any more. So it is what it is there. But here are the MCU Marvel Select figures that Diamond Select Toys has released. And you can see that there are some differences. So this one, the new upgraded suit, actually is a little bit taller than the Homecoming one. And then some of the big differences, they didn't put a whole lot of texture throughout the red and blue suit. They did in the red, but not in the blue, whereas the suit really should have had some of that texturing things, whereas they did it throughout the entirety of the new figure. So it's just huge improvement over this one. And then, but you know, actually, I guess the upper torso is very similar. It's just the lower torso with those hips was just a real problem. So they really updated it for that one, and that's probably the difference in the height is probably coming from that. So it's a huge improvement over them. So one thing that I'm gonna try and see if this will work. So the Disney Store exclusive for the Homecoming figure had this Tom Holland head, this unmasked Tom Holland head that I don't think looks like Tom Holland at all. This reminds me of what was that guy's name? The actor Anton Yelchin, I think it was. You know, he was in Terminator Salvation, and he was in a few other movies, and sadly he passed away in an accident. But that's who I think this figure looks like. I don't think that looks like Tom Holland, but we're going to see if it actually fits on the upgraded suit, because I don't know. And that doesn't want to come off. Oh. And nope, that is not going to work because the ball joint is in the head and then pegs into the neck. So I guess if we do something like that and rest it on there, it looks a little small. I guess it kind of works, but it just, again, it doesn't look like Tom Holland to me. So, but it'll work. You just rest it on there and look, it doesn't, well, there it goes now, but yeah, it works. Now I got to kind of force this thing on. I'll do that off camera, but there's a comparison with the other Marvel Select figures. Okay, so here is the Marvel Legends version, the Marvel Select, and the SH Figuarts, and you can see that all three are very different in so many different ways. No web lines. This one has web lines, but they're only single web lines. Here we get the accurate double web lines. Both of these have the white behind the spider logo on the chest. SH Figuarts does not. Both have white lenses. This one has a silver lens for the eyes. So huge difference. As far as, you know, what you're really looking for, if you're looking for scale, articulation, all those different types of things, you're really going to go towards a different figure. Again, the most aesthetically pleasing to me is the Marvel Select. It is just too big. The best articulation is the SH Figuarts, but again, the joints, everything, the cuts and everything, just kind of looks funky, and he's really small. The Marvel Legends, the scale is probably the best thing about it. And really, that's it. I mean, the texture of the suit they actually put on there, so that's pretty good. I like the black on him. The red was too bright. No painted web lines, so that one really fails on that point. So for me, the Marvel Select probably wins this just based on looks alone. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think. What's your favorite of these three? What are your thoughts on this figure? Next, let's actually take a closer look at that flag, because that's actually worth taking a closer look at. So the UK flag actually comes out looking really good. We get this nice gold at the top of the flag pole there. We get some bendy wire actually in the flag, so you can give it a wave, a nice wave to it. So that is pretty awesome, and it's done in a nice cloth that, you know, you wouldn't typically get from most figures. You know, you don't usually get a whole lot of soft goods because they can be pretty pricey for the figure production, and we get that here, and that's really cool. The bendy wire is a really nice feature that they put on there. That is awesome. We get this nice gold base that it just ports right on into, like so. Easy. And then we get that pole extension, so this, you know, adds another however many inches to it, and it just goes there, and it's crazy tall. I mean, you know, from the bottom up to the top, it adds a whole lot of height to it. So that is an awesome accessory to come with, even though it really doesn't relate and translate into the movie other than him being in London. And really, that's it. And Tom Holland being British, I guess, right? Okay, and for those curious, it is 15.5 inches when fully extended. When just the single pole piece, it is 10.5 inches. So this adds an additional 5 inches to it. So one last thing before we go, pop out these hands, because he comes with the additional interchangeable hands. You could just pull it out, small little peg there, easy, focus. It'd probably help if I put it on the right hand, right? Or I mean the left. But yeah, there we go. You just pop them on just like so. And I just noticed they even sculpted the little web shooter right there on the wrist. So that is pretty awesome. Really nice figure. Really happy to have it. Disney Store exclusive. You should be able to find them at your local Disney Store. I'll include a link to the online listing in case you just want to order it online and have it shipped. That could be your best bet. Sometimes with these Marvel Select figures, it's like, do they have it? Are they going to get it again? Sometimes it can be pretty hard to get. So I'll include that all in the description below. But you guys let me know all your thoughts on the figure down in the comments, while you still can comment, of course. And then if you guys like the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And why not give it a try? Hit that notification bell. You'll still get notifications for the time being. Maybe in January it'll stop. We shall see. And then of course, as always, guys, thank you for watching.